Leeds International School, Form 3 Science, Second Midterm, Chapter 9, Dispersion of White Light and Colors. First, let's see what are the objects of today's lesson. So, at the end of this lesson, students will be able to explain the dispersion of white light as well as they will be able to understand color addition and subtraction and the absorption and reflection of colored light. So children, first let's see what is a white light. Do you know what is it, children? Okay, so white light is defined as the complete mixture of all the wavelength of the visible spectrum. This means, children, that if I have beams of light of all the colors of the rainbow and focus all the colors onto a single spot, the combination of all the colors will result in a beam of white light. So children, what do you think will happen to a white light beam if it tries to pass through a glass prism? Okay, then let's see. So when a beam of white light passes through a prism, the white light splits into 7 colors, namely red, orange, yellow, green, blue, indigo and violet. Isn't this order a bit familiar, children? Yes. So, this is the spectrum of white light and the colors always appear in the same order as the colors of a rainbow. And children, the splitting of white light into its constituent colors is known as dispersion. It is known as dispersion. So children, now you might be wondering, is there a prism in the sky also? Like, how does the rainbow form like this? Actually children, though there are not prisms in our sky, the water droplets or raindrops can act as a prism. So, children, a rainbow is formed when sunlight gets refracted in raindrops. So, the colors of sunlight get dispersed and a spectrum of colors is produced in the sky. So, that is how the rainbow you can see in the sky is formed. Red, green and blue. So children, can you tell me, do you know the name for these 3 colors? When we take these 3 colors together, what do we call to them? Yes, we call them the primary colors. We call them primary colors. So children, white light is made up of 3 primary colors: red, green and blue. And the primary colors can be added together to give secondary colors. Now let's see what are the secondary colors. As I told you before, children, from the primary colors we can get secondary colors. Now let's see, using these 3 primary colors, how can we get secondary colors. So if we add red color to green color, we will get yellow color. And if we add red color into blue color, we will get magenta color. Same as that, children, if we add green color into blue color, we will get cyan. And if we add all the three primary colors together, that means red, blue, green, we will get, can you guess the color? Yes, we will get white color. So children, objects that cannot emit light energy by themselves are known as non-luminous objects. So we know the non-luminous objects do not give off light. So then can you tell me children, how do we see the colors of non-luminous objects? Okay, so this is the place where a light filter comes to our aid. So a light filter is usually made up of transparent material. It absorbs some colors and allows other colors to pass through. So children, the absorption of colors is also known as the subtraction of colors. Okay children, now let's see what will happen to a beam of light when it tries to pass through a light filter. So to understand easily, let's assume the three primary colors red, green and blue, which when we take together make white light, pass through the red color filter at once, and they pass through the red color filter separately. So can you guess children, what are the colors will come out, or what are the colors will pass through the light filter, and what are the colors which will get absorbed by this light filter? Yes, only the red color will pass through the red color light filter, and both blue and green will get absorbed by this light filter. Now children, let's take another example. Now let's try to pass the white beam through a magenta light filter. So can you tell me children, what are the colors which will pass through the paper and what are the colors which get absorbed by the paper? Yes, red color will pass through the paper, and also the blue color will pass through the paper, because when we take these two primary colors together, red and blue, they will give us magenta color. So that's why both those colors were able to pass through this magenta light filter. So children, now let's see what will happen to a beam of white light when we place two light filters over each other. So as before, we assume the three primary colors go through the filter separately. So here we have a yellow light filter, and red, green and blue colors travel through that filter. So children, what will be the colors which pass through the filter and what will be the colors which absorbed by the filter? Yes, only red and green will pass through the yellow color light filter, because when we take together the two primary colors red and green, we will get the secondary color yellow. Now children, in front of these two colors, or in front of the beam of these two colors, we place another light filter, and it is in cyan color. Okay, so now let's see what are the colors which will get absorbed and what are the colors which will pass through that light filter. So children, actually only green color will be passed through this sand light filter, because when we take together blue and green primary colors only, we will get sand color. Another example is, if we try to pass a light beam, a white color light beam, through a magenta light filter, we will get red color and blue color. And if we try to pass through this red color and blue color through a yellow color light filter, what are the colors we will get? Or what are the colors will get absorbed and what are the colors will get pass out or pass through? Yes, only red color will pass through the yellow color light filter, because when we take red and green colors together, only we get the secondary color yellow. So children, actually non-luminous objects also very much similar to the light filters. So these non-luminous objects also absorb colored lights. The colors of lights not absorbed by the object will be reflected off. So children, the color of the non-luminous objects that we see is the color of lights that are reflected into our eyes. As an example, when white light hits a red object, such as the apple, only red light is reflected off the apple, and all the other colors of white lights are absorbed by the apple. Another example is, when white light hits a green color object such as a leaf, only green color is reflected off the leaf. All the other colors of white lights are absorbed by the leaf. Now we have come to the end of today's lesson. So before we finish off our lesson, first let's summarize what we learned today. So children, first we learned about white light and its dispersion. Then we learned about primary colors and secondary colors. And at last we learned about seeing colors of non-luminous objects. So thank you and have a nice day.